Yeah, I find that we apologize for asking for what we want a lot. I find myself like, I'm so sorry, thank you so much. You don't have to do that, but women are, seem perceived as being demanding or difficult.
Hey fam, it's Madison here, and wow, do I have a Hollywood meltdown for you today. I'm talking jaw-dropping allegations, suspiciously edited text messages, an attorney who basically sprinted for the exit, and now a rumored secret recording that might just flip this entire saga on its head. If you're the kind of person who lives for real-life drama spicier than any Netflix series, buckle up, because the Blake Lively verse Justin Baldoni's showdown just leveled up, and we're here to dissect every last bombshell. So let's start with a quick refresher on the star of this fiasco, Blake Lively. For years, she's been Hollywood's golden girl, gorgeous on the red carpet, down to earth in interviews, and never short on that witty charm. She had this unique aura that said, I can give you designer couture 1 minute and crack jokes with you in a grocery line the next. Fans ate it up, believing we had a new era sweetheart with none of that classic Tinseltown drama. Well, apparently not, because behind the scenes of the latest film adaptation, a beloved novel turned cinematic event, directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni, Blake's squeaky clean sheen is starting to corrode. The project, which should have been a heartwarming production full of tears, laughs, and uplifting vibes, is now overshadowed by swirling claims and legal back and forths. And get this, the drama has reached such epic proportions that rumor has it Blake's child, yes, her daughter, may have accidentally recorded some very incriminating details. Trust me, if that rumor pans out, we're talking next level meltdown. But how did we get here, babes? Let's rewind. The source material was a novel with a massive devoted fan base. You put Justin Baldoni, known for all that feel-good energy at the helm, plus a shining star like Blake Lively, and it should have been a slam dunk. In the beginning, the vibes were good. Justin hyped up Blake's star power. Blake said sweet things about Justin's passion. Everyone looked ready to produce a cinematic masterpiece. Then folks on set noticed tension creeping in like an uninvited guest. Justin was wearing multiple hats, director, co-writer, and on-camera talent. Talk about busy. Some claimed Blake felt overshadowed by Justin's triple threat status, possibly annoyed she was being relegated to the co-star plus red carpet magnet role. If you believe the rumors, she started venting privately about how Justin was controlling everything from press interviews to marketing angles and painting her as an afterthought. Of course, in Hollywood, creative differences happen all the time. Usually, they get ironed out over a coffee or left unsaid, but not this time. Because soon enough, an avalanche of personal text messages, pointed legal complaints, and behind-the-scenes tidbits rained down on the tabloids, painting a picture of feuding leads locked in a silent war. So, rumor had it that Blake accused Justin of planting negative stories about her in the press, like he was on some stealth mission to tarnish her image. Initially, a lot of people found that credible. Why? Because we know Hollywood can be a nest of snakes, and powerful men have been known to undermine female co-stars. But that narrative soon started losing steam. Why? Because Justin's allies whipped out a totally different set of receipts in the form of text logs. Instead of a victim, those messages painted Blake as the one pulling the levers. She allegedly name-dropped her A-list connections like hubby Ryan Reynolds and other hush-hush power players to force changes in the script, the marketing strategy, and even the set's daily schedule. The text suggested she threatened to hold back on promotional appearances if things didn't go her way. Then, in a next-level dramatic flourish, Blake side-filed a legal complaint. She claimed the production team blew off essential protocols for close contact scenes and that Justin made remarks about her postpartum body that made her feel disrespected.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
Yikes. If true, that's the kind of talk no star wants to be associated with. But once again, Justin countered with more unedited messages that seemed to poke glaring holes in her timeline. Everything was already messy until it got even worse. Blake's longtime attorney, presumably a big shot in Hollywood's legal circles, abruptly quit and put out a statement that basically said, yeah, I have serious doubts about my client's story. If your jaw isn't on the floor yet, it should be. In Tinseltown, lawyers are known for quietly stepping aside when it's not working out, not flamboyantly calling into question their client's credibility. Industry watchers lost it. Suddenly, all those who'd given Blake the benefit of the doubt had to wonder, If her own lawyer is implying her story doesn't match the evidence, what does that mean for all these claims about Justin? The attorney's public walk-off fueled speculation that Blake might have tampered with or edited key communications to cast Justin as the villain. So the narrative did a total 180. Maybe Justin wasn't orchestrating a smear campaign after all. Maybe the real puppet strings were in Blake's well-manicured hands. Dramatic, I know. But then, just when everyone thought it couldn't get weirder, in waltzes the rumor of a child's accidental recording. Picture this. Blake's daughter, presumably on set or maybe just messing around with a smartphone, accidentally hits record during a conversation. The rumor mill claims the child's audio snippet features Blake explicitly talking about how to spin certain on-set events to paint Justin in a negative light. If that's even half true, it's basically a nuclear bomb in this ongoing war of he said, she said. Because no matter how many spin doctors you hire or how many press statements you put out, a candid real-time recording from your own kid is a PR disaster of epic proportions. Now let's pump the brakes. We do not have official confirmation this tape exists, but the fact that insiders are whispering about it and that it's become a hot topic on social media says a lot about how far this meltdown has gone. People are practically salivating at the idea that a child could innocently blow the lid off a star's alleged manipulation tactics. Yes, it's bizarre. Yes, it's borderline comedic that a phone in the hands of a curious kid could become the ultimate Hollywood truth serum. But hey, in the land of unreleased text logs, ex-lawyers, and leaked video clips, is it really that far-fetched? You tell me. So, if you've been paying attention, you know Blake's entire brand is built on approachability, comedic flair, and genuine sincerity. She's the cool mom star we all thought we could trust. If that brand cracks, can it bounce back? Or will she be stuck in PR purgatory? Let's be real, Tinseltown has seen bigger comebacks. But there's something especially damaging when your own attorney basically calls you out and a rumored audio clip from your child undercuts your allegations. People might overlook a leaked text or two, or chalk it up to a misunderstanding. But an entire pattern of contradictory evidence? That's a monster to tackle. Also consider that the child's recording angle is so sensational, it might overshadow everything else. If that tape surfaces with even the faintest proof that Blake plotted to smear Justin, we're dealing with a meltdown that could overshadow the actual film's release, the story's emotional heart, and everyone else's contributions. Meanwhile, Justin's playing it unusually cool for someone at the center of a Hollywood meltdown. He's consistently said he's all about honesty, cooperation, and letting facts do the talking.
Oh, it's so hard. I mean, look, first of all, being a director is a very lonely job and there's a lot of pressure. And I think the only way that I got through it is I just surrounded myself with people that were so much smarter than me. As it relates to the acting part, it's a heavy load to carry. I wanted to do as much justice as I could to survivors by making Ryle as truthful as possible.
He shared full text chains unredacted with timestamps and all without stooping to name-calling or throw around vengeance. That calm approach contrasts sharply with the swirling drama around Blake. At first, people might have thought his nice guy image was just PR gloss, but the deeper we dive into these messages and the ex-lawyer's revelations, the more it looks like Justin has nothing to hide, especially if the rumored daughter recording fiasco confirms he's been on the receiving end of a misguided takedown attempt. If that happens, it's game over in terms of how the public perceives their conflict. The blowback for Blake would be enormous, like front page of tabloids, for weeks enormous. Let's not forget the inciting incidents. Rumor has it that early in production, Blake felt overshadowed by Justin's trifecta of roles. She started complaining about marketing decisions, press strategies, and how Justin was hogging the narrative. Then we had the postpartum comments fiasco, where she alleged Justin made remarks about her body that felt belittling. The short version is that in her official complaint, she said his words were off color and made her uncomfortable. Initially, that sparked serious outrage against Justin. But then we got to look at text messages that suggested he was simply asking if certain stunts or physically demanding tasks were okay for her postpartum condition, especially given his own back issues. The unedited threads made his questions look cautious and collaborative, not demeaning. So either Blake misread the vibe or she spun it intentionally. If that wasn't enough, we also heard about her wanting to micromanage the film's promotional tactics, from social media to interview lineups. Some producers claim she basically threatened to walk away from press tours if her demands weren't met. Not exactly the hallmark of a sweet-natured star, right? And that was all before we heard about her attorney's dramatic exit. But let's circle back to the attorney, because that was a major pivot point. Lawyers in Hollywood are pros at damage control. Like, that's half their job. So for one to publicly distance themselves referencing ethical concerns over a star client's claims, that's unprecedented. It might as well have been a neon sign saying, I've seen the real receipts, and they do not match what she's telling you. Suddenly, fans who had Team Blake in their Twitter bios started stepping back, waiting to see how she'd respond. Some folks tried to spin it as the lawyer had a personal agenda, or they parted ways for reasons we'll never know. But you can't ignore how it lines up with Justin's claim that Blake was withholding crucial context. The attorney's departure basically validated Justin's side of the story. Now we get to the juiciest part, this rumored audio clip. If the hush-hush buzz is accurate, Blake's daughter was simply fiddling with a phone, maybe bored on set, maybe in a dressing room, and in the background, you allegedly hear Blake discussing how best to spin minor on-set issues into giant blunders pinned on Justin, like practically choreographing drama. If there's even a whiff of authenticity to that tape, it's nuclear. Of course, we have zero official confirmation. The kid in question is obviously not giving interviews, and no one from the Lively Reynolds household is stepping up to clarify. But that's not stopping the speculation train from blazing through tabloids and fan forums, each site adding its own flair to the rumor.
I was like making like, I don't know, juice with like, there was this like maple water on set, and I was like, oh, water tapped from a maple tree. This is exciting. But instead of just like handing him a plastic red cup that I was drinking out of, I like went and got the martini glass, a crystal glass, and like shook it up for him properly, because you can't hand that man a red cup. Like, and so he's like standing on a dock with like mud around, and he's holding a crystal martini glass. It was just juice and maple water.
Some say the clip is short, barely 2 minutes. Everyone agrees it's potentially career-killing if it ever sees daylight. Skeptics question the logistics. How do you not notice your phone is recording? Why talk about underhanded strategies with your daughter around? Is this rumor just more fabricated nonsense to stir the pot? They've got a point. The whole scenario does sound outlandish. But after everything we've seen unravel, ex-lawyers, contradictory text messages, hush-hush dragons references, maybe outlandish is the new normal in this saga. Meanwhile, the rest of Hollywood is watching like it's the final season of a must-see reality show. Producers who once lined up to cast Blake might be quietly putting deals on ice, worried she'll bring a tidal wave of PR nightmares. Ryan Reynolds, known for being a comedic commentator on pretty much everything, has gone suspiciously silent. Is he speechless, or is he letting the chips fall where they may? We also see folks within the industry speaking off the record, describing how this fiasco took shape. Production assistants recall small spats with Blake that she later spun into big safety or emotional support issues. Some even mention postpartum references that, in context, seem normal, like choreographing scenes so nobody got hurt, but turned into body-shaming headlines once Blake retold the story. Is that a pattern? If so, it's not looking good for her. That's the million-dollar question, or potentially multi-million-dollar if you consider lawsuit damages. Was she that concerned about being overshadowed? Did she think orchestrating behind-the-scenes complaints and partial truths would secure her creative control, or bigger headlines? Or is it possible she genuinely believed Justin was undermining her and she was just fighting fire with fire? If the rumored child's recording truly highlights a premeditated plan to torpedo Justin's rep, well, that suggests a level of cunning that might shock even the most jaded Hollywood observer. But we can't jump to conclusions just yet. Again, there's no official proof, just a swirling rumor that's turning the industry's rumor mill into a full-blown hurricane. While Blake's potential meltdown scorches headlines, Justin is apparently staying the course. He's still championing the film, focusing on the novel's emotional backbone, and reiterating that all he wants is a respectful, transparent, creative environment. If you're in his shoes, you must be feeling at least some vindication. The ex-lawyer's pointed exit already gutted Blake's credibility. Now, if that child's recording is real, he doesn't even have to say, "I told you so." The tape itself will do the talking. As for the film's future, who knows? On one hand, this drama could overshadow the entire adaptation. On the other hand, controversy sometimes fuels ticket sales, though hardly the brand of buzz any serious artist wants. Justin might find himself fielding press questions about the meltdown, overshadowing the story's core themes.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious. Right. Either you got the job or there's something wrong. Yeah. And they said, "So you were the choice but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
What?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
But hey, if the final product is good, maybe audiences will separate the art from the messy real-life meltdown. Let's not underestimate how massive an impact that lawyer's departure had. In Hollywood, attorneys are the fortress around their star clients, guarding them from PR storms, settlement fiascos, and random legal woes. So when your fortress decides you're a hazard to their own ethics, that says a mouthful. The attorney teased that they'd seen text communications and other materials that made them uneasy. If the rumored child's recording is part of that trove, it's no wonder they bounced. Fans and fellow celebs are left guessing if Blake was trying to pull an elaborate con or if she's a victim of her own hype machine, spinning minor spats into major controversies without realizing how easily receipts can blow up in your face. Either scenario leaves her star image tarnished. The next time she tries to hold a press conference or do a cutesy talk show cameo, you can bet the host is going to wonder about these contradictory revelations. How does she spin that? We can't ignore Ryan Reynolds. Usually he'd be memeing this fiasco faster than you can say Deadpool cameo, but he's uncharacteristically tight-lipped. Could it be that he's seen the unedited messages and possible audio, realized the jig was up, and decided not to add his voice to a sinking ship? Or is he quietly supporting Blake behind closed doors, hoping that the scandal will pass? No matter the angle, his silence amplifies the drama. If he believed wholeheartedly in her innocence, he'd probably tweet something cheeky, right? Instead, crickets. That's enough to raise eyebrows across social media, with fans speculating on the state of their marriage, how this fiasco is affecting their home life, and whether a more public statement is brewing behind the scenes. Sometimes, Tinseltown dramas vanish overnight when a bigger scandal surfaces, but this one feels like it's not going away. Each new revelation, attorney resignations, text logs, rumored child recordings, turns up the heat. If the alleged phone clip is real, you can bet your last buck that the media will dine out on it for weeks, dissecting every second for hidden meaning. That's not the kind of story that just fizzles out. On the off chance that the rumor is all smoke and no fire, maybe Blake can claw her way back, claiming the gossip was a malicious fabrication. Even then, she's got a steep uphill climb because that attorney's departure wasn't rumor. It was real, and it spoke volumes. She's already lost the benefit of the doubt in many circles. A phantom phone recording might only confirm people's worst suspicions. With each passing day, the question for Blake is whether any strategy can salvage her public persona. If she tries to deny the child's recording outright, she risks its surfacing, should it exist, and delivering a knockout blow. If she acknowledges it, she'll have to explain why she'd be orchestrating a smear campaign so diligently. Maybe she'll blame the stress of postpartum life, the high stakes of Hollywood, or miscommunication with the production team. But will that quell the outcry? Hard to say. Meanwhile, she's not just dealing with press. She's dealing with potential legal ramifications, especially if she's been found to manipulate or fabricate certain aspects of her complaint against Justin. Hollywood might forgive a scandal, but producers rarely forgive unpredictability that can jeopardize an entire project's success. For an actress who once navigated the spotlight with ease, it's quite the humbling predicament. Let's step back for a second. This entire fiasco is a cautionary tale about how quickly a star's image can implode when private conversations become public knowledge, especially in the digital age. As more productions rely on behind-the-scenes social media clips, Zoom calls, text message chains, and who knows what else, the margin for error is razor thin.
And we went into the audition, and he signed in, and then the casting director came out and said, "Blake?" And Eric said, "Yep, that's her." And I just thought I was gonna die. And she said, "We don't have you on our call sheet." And he said, "Oh," and he put his agency's name. And so I auditioned, and I didn't know what to say in that moment. I was 16, and my brother had just written my name on a piece of paper, and they were looking at me. So I walked in the room and did the audition.
A single misstep or a single phone in the hands of a bored child can upend carefully curated narratives in an instant. Producers, directors, and fellow actors are all paying attention. They see Justin maintaining a measured tone, backing his statements with unredacted evidence. They see Blake losing an attorney who is presumably her staunch advocate, and they're hearing about a rumored phone recording that could, if real, shatter whatever defense remains. The takeaway? Tread carefully when your brand depends on how you spin behind-the-scenes spats. Because if your spin doesn't match reality, receipts will come knocking. Right now, the million-dollar question is whether we'll ever get confirmation about that infamous daughter recorded audio. Will it leak on social media? Will it end up in a court proceeding, transcribed in black and white for the world to see? Or will it remain a rumor, that quietly fades, overshadowed by the next scandal. Regardless, the damage to Blake's image is done. She's not the same squeaky clean star we thought we knew. The attorney Fiasco proved that something is seriously off in her story. If the alleged audio clip exists, it's likely the final piece that cements a downward spiral. Because, honey, once your own child's accidental recording is used as evidence against you, that's a headline that sticks. In Hollywood, never say never. Even the most battered reputations sometimes find redemption arcs. Maybe Blake will produce a heartfelt public apology, blaming exhaustion and postpartum stress. Maybe she'll show contrition, claiming she was under bad advisement. Or perhaps the rumor about the phone recording is false, and we'll learn that Justin's side took some liberties with the truth. But at this juncture, that latter scenario seems increasingly unlikely. What does seem certain is that the adaptation itself, once highly anticipated, is overshadowed by drama that might overshadow even the most brilliant filmmaking. Fans of the novel wanted an emotional journey, not a behind-the-scenes cautionary tale. Yet here we are, with the real-life meltdown overshadowing the fictional story everyone came to see. If there's a moral in this swirling storm, it's that controlling a narrative in the digital era is borderline impossible. You can't just leak selective texts, stage some he said, she said, and hope everyone buys your version. Because if there's a more complete record, like unedited logs or, say, a secret recording from your own child, everything collapses faster than you can say plot twist. And that's exactly what seems to have happened here. Blake apparently bet on partial truths being enough, but Justin's transparency, combined with an attorney's bombshell exit and a rumored phone clip, is toppling her brand's foundation. Yikes. So, my dear watchers of Hollywood drama, we stand at a crossroads. Will that rumored child recording surface, turning the entire fiasco into a final blow for Blake Lively? Will Justin quietly walk away from this saga with his integrity not just intact, but bolstered by the spectacle of it all? Or is there another twist lurking around the corner? After all, Tinseltown loves a last-minute plot twist bigger than any third-act reveal. For now, all we can do is sit back, sip our tea, and watch the internet attempt to decode every new rumor, screenshot, and press statement. If you needed any more proof that real life sometimes outdramatics even the biggest blockbuster scripts, this is it. So that's the dish, folks. Let me know in the comments what you think about this rumored audio clip. Is it real or just an insane piece of gossip in an already insane story? Are you still on Blake's side, or have you switched your stance to Team Justin? Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more scorching Hollywood revelations. Because if this child's phone fiasco sees the light of day, trust me, we'll be here, front and center, dissecting every second of it. Until next time, I'm Madison, reminding you that in a town where everyone's got a smartphone and zero chill, receipts are just a button press away, no matter whose pocket the phone is in. Stay messy, stay blessed, and keep your phones locked, fam.